Coming up on AgweekTV, it's the sweetest time of year. Sugar beet harvest is underway. How can farmers be more profitable? We'll take a look at some practices you could incorporate now for better crops next year.
We take you to Mitchell, South Dakota for a look at the High Plains processing plant.
And we wrap up our corn and soybean tour with a check on the beans in north central North Dakota. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Emily Beal. Production has begun at the High Plains soybean processing plant in Mitchell, South Dakota. Ariana Schumacher takes us to the plant for a look at how this new facility is going in this week's AgWeek cover story.
It's been very exciting to kind of get this thing up and running.
After 2 years of construction, soybeans are being delivered to High Plains processing.
It's been a long process. We've had great support. We've been fortunate to have 2 fairly good winters to continue construction through. But it's great to finally get to the finish line here.
They've been receiving beans for just over a month, and they've already almost filled their 3 million bushel bins.
We're fortunate to have a very large crop our first year here down in Mitchell. So far the beans look really good coming into the facility. Oil content, protein content, moisture is all within our parameters. The yields look like they're fantastic, so we picked a good year to start the plant.
While local producers are excited about the new processing plant, low prices have caused some producers to wait before marketing their soybeans. Matt Bambridge, a farmer from Ethan, South Dakota, farms roughly 4 miles from the processing facility. He ended up putting a lot of his soybeans into the bin for now, as he determines when it will be the best time to market his crop.
There is some uncertainty, so we're just kind of waiting and seeing to see what happens and kind of hopefully get an opportunity to market soybeans for a little bit better price sometime here.
Bambridge had used some marketing strategies that he hasn't had to use in a few years.
I wish I could say that we had a better plan, but for right now we filled up all the little bins that we have around different farms and whatnot, so we've kind of put some stuff in storage now, and we'll look to market some ahead and hope that the basis gets a little better.
But he says that having a processor here nearby is reassuring.
We know that they're going to have to buy soybeans, so we have a pretty good feel that we'll have a better chance to market.
This is going to be a great benefit for the local area. Steady demand, predictable demand, consistent demand coming out of this facility.
In Mitchell, South Dakota, this is Ariana Schumacher for AgWeek.
You can read more in the next AgWeek magazine or at agweek.com. Representatives of several of the world's biggest food and ag companies gathered in Minneapolis to find ways to build more resilient supply chains to meet the demands of a rising global population and other challenges. The focus for Reuters event's Transform Food Agriculture USA 2025 was the current market volatility and policy shaping the U.S. ag industry, including tariffs. Cargill saw its revenue decline this year and has cut around 8,000 jobs.
It's a very dynamic environment right now. There's a lot of challenges to solve for us, and I think as the more we come together, the better.
This was the third U.S. edition of the event series, which includes a European conference. It's sugar beet harvest season in the Red River Valley. I traveled to Davenport, North Dakota to see how the harvest is going.
Harvest has been going really well.
Darren Hoyme farms near Kinder, North Dakota, where he raises corn, soybeans, wheat, and of course, sugar beets. He says sugar beet harvest has been going well despite a bumpy start.
You know, we started out with a little bit too much heat, and so we've had some heat shutdown days, but the nights were very cool, and which is very good for long-term beet storage. So we've been able to crank out quite a few loads during the night hours, even though we did have one day where we were able to get through 24 hours. But fortunately, it's been dry, so the harvest has been going really well.
When it comes to yield, the sugar beets are performing well, in spite of conditions they experienced during the growing season.
They're looking pretty good. We're down a little bit on tonnage, again, because of the wetness that they had to go through for a while. We're looking at the 27 to 30 ton average, and we're going to be happy with that, considering the adverse conditions a few times during the season. We're just always happy when we can get close to 30 ton.
A lot of beet trucks are on the road during harvest season. Hoyme asked that motorists are mindful of them when they are on the roads.
We just ask people to be patient with us when we're out on the roads with our trucks. We tell our drivers, also to be respectful of other drivers. Our trucks, when we pull out with a load, they're not the fastest to get up and go. And we tell them, this is not a race, it's more like a marathon. And so we just want our guys to be safe, but we just want folks to be mindful of us.
Hoyme is the vice president of the Red River Valley Sugar Beet Growers Association. Up next on AgweekTV, we take a look at the soybean crop in north central North Dakota.
Farming is more than just a job. It's a way of life. It's your hard work, your investment, your future. At Superior Grain Equipment, we're here to protect it all. From durable grain storage to gentle drying and handling solutions. We build systems designed to last, and we stand by you with service and support every step of the way. Superior Grain Equipment, proven solutions to help you grow.
At Vatterstad, we're partnering with North American farmers to create the perfect emergence. We're doing this with new and innovative tillage, planting, and seeding solutions, optimized for the field conditions that you face, and with industry-leading capacities to help you get the job done in short windows of time, so you can maximize yields. Vatterstad, we look forward to growing together.
Are Peterson reps real-life seed heroes? Well, they've been known to go the extra mile, literally thousands of extra miles every year. And when they're not driving gravel roads, they're out walking fields and sampling soil. When time is the enemy, they're there to save what's left of the day. Are all Peterson reps seed heroes? I guess that's a yes. Peterson, seed smarter, grow stronger.
The Prairie Revolution Ditcher is the new standard for surface water management. The Revolution Ditcher leaves a smooth finished 5-foot flat bottom cut and cuts up to 10 inches in one pass. Throw dirt in either direction, up to 165 feet. Now with the hydraulic cross auger to break up dirt and keep you working faster. Check out the Revolution Ditcher at Prairie.com.
Integrity, excellence, teamwork. At Titan Machinery, we take care of our team. Whether you are an experienced technician or looking to start your career, Titan has a spot for you. Earn a competitive pay with the potential to make in excess of 6 figures. Service techs, come grow with a company that invests in you. Titan Machinery offers company HSA and 401k contributions, affordable health insurance, and a generous tool allowance. Plus, we'll provide all of your uniform and safety gear. Apply today at titanmachinery.com/careers.
The AgWeek Corn and Soybean Tour is sponsored by Bremer Bank, Prairie Ag, North Dakota Corn Council, and the North Dakota Corn Growers Association.
Our corn and soybean tour continues this week. I traveled to north central North Dakota and took a look at the soybean crop.
We had a really conducive spring this year for planting conditions. The weather was pretty cooperative overall.
Farmers were able to get into their fields at a decent time, but some were forced to replant due to weather conditions.
This field was actually planted on May 11th, right before that rain event. And then as the conditions remained cool and cloudy for so long, we had looked at a lot of soybean fields in the area in which the emergence wasn't doing so great. And so we were digging up plants, and you would just see the seeds kind of sitting in there germinating, waiting to come up out of the ground, but just wasn't that warm, so the plants were just kind of waiting for that sunshine and those warmer temps to come up. So during that time period, there were farmers in the area considering about replanting their soybeans. And so this field was actually replanted on June 5th.
Despite the field being replanted, the soybean field did well during the growing season, with minimal disease and pest pressure. Paul estimates the yield being around the mid-40s. And while this season was tough for soybeans in the area, she also believes it serves as a valuable lesson.
And I think one of the big takeaways from this year really revolves around resiliency. We saw how resilient our crops were. We saw how the soybean crop came back from all the challenges that it had, and the resiliency of the farmers. I mean, they're faced with so many difficult challenges each and every day, and the decision to replant these beans ended up being a really great decision for the farmer here.
This was the last stop on our 2025 corn and soybean tour. Lower prices for some crops like soybeans, corn, and wheat and higher input costs can add up to bad news for farmers. But as Jenny Schleck reports, there are some practices you can incorporate now that can improve your soil and profitability on your farm.
These are challenging times for crop farmers, but there are some practices that could improve your bottom line fairly quickly. Brian Johnson, chairman of the board of directors of the South Dakota Soil Health Coalition, says practices like crop diversity, no-till, cover crops, acre-by-acre management, and grazing fields in the fall and winter can help increase profitability.
And so I think producers should take a look at some of the benefits of those practices as ways to cut some of their inputs and lower their cost of production, especially when the farm economy is in the situation it is right now.
Johnson says crop diversity spreads out risk. Reducing tillage means fewer passes across a field, saving both time and input costs. And cover crops can enhance water infiltration and increase fertility. He suggests growers try to pencil it out.
This might be the time where the economy's tight. Look at those acres that are not making you money and ask people, what can we do different?
Johnson farms in the James River Valley of South Dakota. He says he's found unexpected benefits from practices like cover crops, including less white mold and more protection for young plants. And cover crops are even more cost-effective for producers who have livestock.
You can plant a good cover crop mix for under $20 an acre, and you can get a return on investment tenfold in that. And so not only is it good for the soil, but it's a cheap feed for your cattle.
Johnson says the benefits of these practices can be both short-term and long into the future.
You've got a long-term, generational opportunity to improve the soil and your family.
In West Fargo, North Dakota, this is Jenny Schlecht for AgWeek.
Cost share programs are available to provide payments for producers to implement conservation practices. Johnson says there are lots of places to get information and advice, including Extension soil conservation employees or neighbors who have made changes. Ahead on AgweekTV, we'll see how one community has come together to bring renewable energy to their town.
You got salty soils? We can help. Let's talk.
When it comes to grain storage and handling, Brock solid bins from Gateway Building Systems are built for the bushel. Gateway's expert team will help you maximize profits and keep your operation up and running. Gateway is one of the largest Brock bin dealers in the U.S. Don't wait. Expand your operation and plan for your future. Call Gateway Building Systems at 800-747-4499 or visit gatewaybuilding.com today.
With Weber Inbound, good help is never hard to find. Power your workforce solution through the H2A Seasonal Agricultural Workers Program. We'll handle the details, so you can focus on bigger things. Find Labor Inbound at Big Iron.
We offer the full lineup of brand products. Big ones are going to be your conveyors, your land rollers, grain carts, high-speed discs. Those are going to be the very popular ones that we see out in the countryside and we like to have on hand here at all times.
Brent does a really good job of supporting the products and providing the parts on time and when you need them. For a full line of Brent products, give us a call at 701-361-4790 or visit our website at northstar-ag.com.
We started with a raw piece of ground out here and we put in bins, and then we started coming in with the leg and dryer system and threw in a pit. The process with working with them has been very simple. It was a one-stop shop. Go there. We came up with a plan together and they have been executing it flawlessly. Hi, I'm Brian Hoffman and I highly recommend using Advanced Grain out of Mayville, North Dakota.
You got salty soils? We can help. Let's talk. AgWeek weather is sponsored by Bremer Bank. Connect with a banker today at bremer.com.
Are these cooler temps here to stay? Here's Lydia with our AgriWeather Outlook.
We are officially under a La Nina advisory. That means during September, La Nina conditions were observed, meaning that sea surface temperatures well out into the Pacific were read as well below average from the surface to 200 meters deep. So that's a good layer of ocean water there. That gives us a pretty good boost of confidence that this coming winter 2025 into 2026, is likely to be a La Nina winter. What exactly does that mean when it comes to weather and weather patterns? Well, when you have colder sea surface temperatures out in the Pacific, it tends to send our active jet stream up to the north. That allows colder air from the Hudson Bay area to work its way down toward us. Also, where you have your jet stream path, that tends to be the path of snow systems, low pressure systems that drive on through. And that can uptick our precipitation, our snow amounts as we head throughout the course of the winter in spots. It's all very iffy. And right now it's an educated guess as to what we can expect. So we've mentioned the precip. As for your temperatures, when you get that Hudson Bay low, that colder Canadian air dropping in, we typically see below average temperatures in your La Nina years. So I wanted to look back at some recent La Nina years so we could do a little comparing. Last winter was a La Nina year, 24 into 25, 22 into 23, 21 to 22, and 20 into 21. So we've had a handful of La Nina winters recently. For your temperatures, I just picked Fargo and Sioux Falls. You can kind of go based off of which one you're closer to. We had some cold winters here. Average temperature throughout the course of the winter in Fargo, 12.4 last year. Down in Sioux Falls, 20.2. We had a warmer one, but still fairly cool for your average temperature throughout the course of the winter back in 2020 and 2021. Now for snowfall, it really depends on where you are, because last winter we repetitively saw our low pressure systems, our Colorado lows, take a line from Sioux Falls toward the Twin Cities, which left places up to the northwest a little bit drier. Fargo picked up 15.2 inches of snow in 24 into 25, but the winter that was La Nina before that was actually a higher snowfall amount with over 50 inches of snow in the Sioux Falls area. That means we have equal chances of seeing above average precip or below average precip. It doesn't really give us that great of an indication. Near average temperatures are expected to slightly below. Our chances are fairly equal. As we look at your precipitation chances, the highest amount or the best confidence we have is further out to the west, where I showed you that jet stream path, where you're likely to see the above average snowfall. As for the next 2 weeks, we are looking at above average temperatures. Of course, average has shifted down into the 50s. We'll see 50s to near 60 as we head into next week. Plus, this is kind of the bigger switch up. After kind of an active week this past week, we do have fairly dry weather setting up. This takes us almost to the end of the month. Kind of a nice drier pattern after getting some super soakers, hopefully to work into the harvest season.
Are Peterson reps real-life seed heroes? Well, they've been known to go the extra mile. Literally thousands of extra miles every year. And when they're not driving gravel roads, they're out walking fields and sampling soil. When time is the enemy, they're there to save what's left of the day. Are all Peterson reps seed heroes? I guess that's a yes. Peterson, seed smarter, grow stronger.
When it comes to grain storage and handling, Brock Solid Bins from Gateway Building Systems are built for the bushel. Gateway's expert team will help you maximize profits and keep your operation up and running. Gateway is one of the largest Brock bin dealers in the U.S. Don't wait. Expand your operation and plan for your future. Call Gateway Building Systems at 800-747-4499 or visit gatewaybuilding.com today.
With Weber Inbound, good help is never hard to find. Power your workforce solution through the H2A Seasonal Agricultural Workers Program. We'll handle the details, so you can focus on bigger things. Find Labor Inbound at Big Iron.
Add more bushels to your hopper and money to your pocket by harnessing the power of air with Crary Wind Systems. Whether your beans are chest high or barely off the ground, Crary offers two solutions that add a constant stream of high-velocity air to quickly feed crop back to the auger, eliminating bunching, reducing shatter loss, and increasing your ground speed. Don't let crop conditions dictate your yield. Check out the Crary Air Reel or Crary Wind System today.
Integrity, excellence, teamwork. At Titan Machinery, we take care of our team. Whether you are an experienced technician or looking to start your career, Titan has a spot for you. Earn a competitive pay with the potential to make in excess of 6 figures. Service techs, come grow with a company that invests in you. Titan Machinery offers company HSA and 401k contributions, affordable health insurance, and a generous tool allowance. Plus, we'll provide all of your uniform and safety gear. Apply today at titanmachinery.com/careers.
Much like the upper Midwest, Michigan's Upper Peninsula's winters can be harsh and unpredictable, making renewable energy daunting. But one community in the UP is dedicated to incorporating renewable options into their town, despite the long and frigid winters.
Alger County hugs the south shore of Lake Superior and has some of the highest energy costs in the entire nation. Residents of Alger County and others have been coming together to find creative ways to lower energy costs through renewable energy. In 2023, the area was given federal aid to do just that.
This is a prize that we received back in 2023 that was given to us by the Department of Energy through the National Renewable Energy Lab. And the goal of that prize was to encourage remote and rural communities to adopt renewable energy practices.
They were able to build a solar power site within the community, and so far, it's been paying off.
Construction began the beginning of August 2024, and we went live online in October of 2024. October 1st to be exact. And over the winter, you know how the winters are in the UP, there's a lot of cloud cover, there's a lot of snow, but even in those first 5 months, we showed a savings of $800 from the previous year's electric bill. Since then, that has increased, and in fact, for the month of May, we saw our first credit.
But solar power isn't the only renewable energy that residents have incorporated into their everyday lives.
When I first talked about possibly getting a hybrid, it was because here in the UP, we don't really have the infrastructure that would be necessary to go totally electric, even though some people have. But looking into hybrid cars, I thought that this would be a more practical way for me to contribute.
People have been pleased with the incorporation of renewable energy into their own community.
I've heard of other communities that have had solar projects, and I think the benefit is twofold. One is it brings the community together, and the other project is that it gets so people can see the value of solar.
For more information about the program, please visit the website listed on your screen. Up next on AgweekTV, a South Dakota vineyard takes a unique approach to organic grape production.
We offer the full lineup of brand products. Big ones are going to be your conveyors, your land rollers, grain carts, high-speed discs. Those are going to be the very popular ones that we see out in the countryside and we like to have on hand here at all times.
Brand does a really good job of supporting the products and providing the parts on time and when you need them. For a full line of brand products, give us a call at 701-361-4790 or visit our website at northstar-ag.com.
We started with a raw piece of ground out here and we put in bins, and then we started coming in with the leg and dryer system and threw in a pit. The process with working with them has been very simple. It was a one-stop shop. Go there. We came up with a plan together and they have been executing it flawlessly. Hi, I'm Brian Hoffman, and I highly recommend using Advanced Grain out of Mayville, North Dakota.
At Vaterstad, we're partnering with North American farmers to create the perfect emergence. We're doing this with new and innovative tillage, planting, and seeding solutions, optimized for the field conditions that you face, and with industry-leading capacities to help you get the job done in short windows of time, so you can maximize yields. Vaterstad, we look forward to growing together.
As your farm evolves, so do the challenges that come with it. At Superior Grain Equipment, our systems are built to make your job easier and help your grain reach its full potential. From gentle drying to durable storage, get the flexibility to market your grain on your time. Superior Grain Equipment, proven solutions to help you grow.
Farming is more than a career. It's a lifestyle, a calling, and a badge of honor. That's why it's important to have a banking partner who doesn't just understand the farming industry, they understand your farm. At Bremer Bank, we've spent more than 80 years working side by side with farmers like you to help you invest in and grow your operation. Season after season, from one generation to the next.
Field day participants got to learn more about the methods of biodynamic farming at Lewis and Clark Vineyard near Yankton, South Dakota. Ariana Schumacher gives us a look at the holistic organic farming approach.
After losing nearly his entire vineyard to a dicamba spray event, Greg Stack transitioned to fully biodynamic farming. That's a holistic and spiritual approach to organic farming, started by Rudolf Steiner in 1924.
What he proposed was what we would call in modern days regenerative farming. No tilling, set aside some land for wildlife and habitat for butterflies and bees.
There is also a spiritual side to biodynamic farming.
There have been a lot of experiments done, not all of them successful, about using biodynamic preparations in planting according to the flow of the moon and the influences the moon has on the earth.
The final proposition to biodynamic farming is you must use the preparations, which Stack makes himself. He uses a variety of different dried flowers to enhance his biodynamic compost.
Most of these are just the flowers that you're using. They're dried, and then they're used and fermented in various animal parts and buried in the soil or held over, but everything is fermented.
Field day participants got a closer look at these methods during a field day hosted at Stack's Vineyard.
The first part of the day, we're out here in the vineyard just understanding, plant health and all of that and how you do that in an organic and natural system. And the second part of the day, we'll be walking through the certification process.
Stack hopes this field day helps people to just do it.
There's the confusion that a lot of people have. How do I get started? So I showed people how to create your own IMO, indigenous microorganism, from start, how to collect that, then how to make product from it.
In Yankton, South Dakota, this is Ariana Schumacher for AgWeek.
If you're interested in transitioning to organic, you can reach out to the South Dakota Specialty Producers Association. Stories you'll only see on AgWeek.com and in AgWeek magazine this week. Ag land prices are continuing to rise in North Dakota and Minnesota despite a difficult farm economy. And the Wabasha County 4-H dairy judging team won 2 big contests this year. We appreciate you watching AgweekTV. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up on all your ag news. Have a wonderful week, everyone.